Why don't you ever talk about the men that don't pay child support?
Because it's women like you who spread your legs for guys like that. Why don't you ever talk about the responsibility of women who choose irresponsible males to procreate with and then complain later when they're irresponsible?
No.
The women who have a one-nighter with a bartender or a guy on a motorcycle or a musician, and then you complain later on the guy's a deadbeat. He was a deadbeat to begin with.
Why nobody can ever talk to you, because you don't let anybody...
People talk to me all day long. You can't talk to me.
No, I'm trying to talk to you, and you're talking over.
Dear, don't tell me you have to do a radio show. I've been doing this for 25 years. I don't need your help.
Oh, okay. Let me. Can I please just say this? I was married once before, okay? Mm-hmm. My husband and I had a child together.
Right.
After I was tired of him beating me for 2 years, I left him.
Really? But why did you tolerate it for 2 years? Can you tell me why you tolerated being beaten for 2 years? I'd like to hear about this.
My answer to that is because I was young and stupid.
Okay, I agree with you.
There you go.
You were stupid. No doubt about it. And now what are you going to complain that he doesn't pay child support? A guy who beat you for 2 years? Imagine that. The guy is irresponsible.
Right.
He beat me for 2 years, and now that deadbeat doesn't pay.
So why is it my
There's your big concern. Now we see why you're so upset about this. You chose a manifestly irresponsible, violent individual to procreate with. Then you're amazed that the guy doesn't send you child support.
He didn't beat me until
you're still, you know what, dear? You were young and stupid. Now you're old and stupid. I mean, you're still stupid.
Oh, my God. You
are still stupid. You expect a guy who beat you for 2 years now to suddenly become responsible.
I cannot even believe
You're insane.
It is unbelievable.
You can't believe what?
I can't believe that you're still on the radio.
I'm on the radio because I'm right, and I'm on the radio because I've got millions of listeners. That's why.
Yeah, well, you've just lost one.
Dear, you're not the target demographic. I really don't give a rat's ass. I'll bet your husband would agree with me. I'll bet your ex-husband would really agree with me. She hung up. Look at that. He beat me for 2 years, and now, can you imagine? He doesn't send child support. Forgets to send it. I can't believe that deadbeat. First he beat me, and I'm saying, I'm spreading my legs. I'm saying, okay, impregnate me, let's have a baby. So the guy's beating me, okay? After 2 years of beating me, I left his ass because I got tired of being beaten. And now, he doesn't send child support anymore. By the way, isn't that a proof of what I've been saying? Oh, women, we're independent. We can do it without men. We don't need men. Now you're taking your abuser and you're saying, the guy doesn't send me any money. You gotta be kidding me. Guy didn't send you any money. The guy is insane. You hooked up with a guy who beat the crap out of you, and now you wonder why he didn't send you any money. And you see, this is what I'm talking about. Women are not independent.
You know, I completely agree with this man. He's harsh, but damn it, he's telling the truth. What was that woman thinking when she decided to have a child with a man who was probably far from being an ideal father? Most likely, the pregnancy was accidental, and the marriage that followed was forced. Is that responsible? Women, forgetting everything, have a wild time with bad guys, and then suddenly complain that these bad guys hit them and don't pay child support. Isn't that absurd?
It's so hard. Can we skip to the good part?
It doesn't really work that way.
What do you mean? I did the thing with the hand.
Yeah, no, that's not actually real.
Mr. Bridges, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
I found out that she has a little bit more money, and I wanted a little bit more for the child.
Okay. How old is the child?
12.
How did you find out she had more money?
The child told me.
What? You asked the child or the child told you?
Oh, the child told me. Came back from visiting with her and is like, Mama has more money.
What? Where did he say this money came from?
He didn't tell me. He kind of only heard little bits. I think it's from the life insurance policy that she has, and only way I think of that is if she got a loan. Oh.
Ma'am.
He's lying.
Ma'am, when I get to you, you'll have your opportunity to speak, okay? So, the child said life insurance?
Yeah, they said something about like life, so I'm guessing it's a life insurance policy, and only way to really do something with that.
When did he tell you this?
Wait. Hold on one second, sir.
Yes,
let me let you know how this goes, okay? I do all the question asking. You address me. Do not address each other. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Now, is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to her?
I mean, the child did tell me what he believes she was using it for.
What did he say she was using it for? Because I think that matters.
No.
Purses?
Purses?
Yes.
Purses? What kind of like the one she has on the table there?
I don't know purses, so I can't say. I just know that you said Mama's got new purses.
Oh, okay. So Mama, tell me about these purses.
What? I'm an interior designer, so I have to make sure that I match with everything I wear.
Okay, and you have to make sure that you have the money to buy that, right?
Well, you know, I go bargain shopping.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of good purses out there, but I go shopping for my son too, so, I mean, I don't know what he's talking about. I don't know what he's saying.
So you're saying that your son didn't tell him that you took money out of a life insurance policy?
No.
Well,
no,
let me ask you
I don't
this.
think so.
Did you take money out of a life insurance policy? It's
Maybe.
a yes or no. It's not an
Yes, I
Okay,
did.
so he was not lying then. You called him a liar. He's not lying about that. You took money out. How much did you take out?
$30,000.
$30,000 out of a life insurance policy to buy purses? What kind of purses are you buying?
A lot of purses.
Like what? What kind of bag is that?
It's a Michael Kors.
Okay, you know what? You obviously came here to waste my time. You did. As an interior designer, how much money are you making?
Oh, the naivety. It seems to me that this type of woman starts out as a predator, but then suddenly finds herself being hunted. Who was she trying to fool? Even her own child figured out that something wasn't right. It's disgusting that such a mother, who is far from ideal, continues down a slippery slope. I think it's absolutely right that the ex-husband decided to take this to court and seek justice. What do you think?
What's your craziest college confession?
I've just been really sexually active.
How many bodies have you got since you've been here?
About 20, yeah.
Damn!
And that's since July.
So you going crazy?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Okay.
I'm positive for type 1 and type 2 herpes.
Jesus Christ.
It's not, like, too big of a deal, I think.
Get away from me!
If you marry, there's about a 56% chance that your marriage will end in divorce.
What percentage of marriages do you think actually fail?
If we consider failure staying together miserable for the children or staying together for financial, economic reasons, and then we add that to the 56% that end in divorce, then, I mean, it would be very hard to track that, but I think it's generous to think it's another 20% probably. But I mean, think about what that adds up to. That means that you've got something that fails 75% of the time. That is more likely than not to cause significant harm in your life. So I think the statistic that's even more interesting to me than how many marriages end in divorce or how many people stay together miserable is that 86% of people who divorce remarry within 5 years. So think about that. You've done this thing. It's failed. You've gone through this difficult process of having to undo it. And now within 5 years, 86% of people remarry. That tells you how important this is to us as humans.
Yes, I think he's making some solid points. Of course, it kills a lot of the romantic notions about marriage and relationships. But you know what? There are so many sad examples of men ending up homeless after divorce, and that's terrifying. The law barely protects men as fathers and heads of households, even though they bear the brunt of the responsibility when it comes to providing for the family. It's unfair. So why are women surprised that no one wants to marry them? It literally sounds like a trap.
Do men need women?
Yes.
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 Do women need men?
No, absolutely not.
What do you think feminism has done to modern day women?
I think modern day feminism is just an absolute disgrace.
Feminism tells women that men don't believe they're valuable.
Feminism tells women that men don't value them as a whole, but I think feminism makes women feel like they're not valuable to themselves, and I think that's the worst message that you could instill in the younger generation.
The mother of a 7-year-old little girl was tragically killed in a car crash. Well, after her death, her parents stepped up and took custody of the little girl. The reason why they did was because the dad wasn't around. He hadn't been around in about 6 years. As a matter of fact, that little girl wouldn't know him if he walked in the room. He had paid child support throughout her life, but that's about it. Hadn't really had anything at all to do with her. The grandparents, however, had played a significant role in this child's life. So after about 2 or 3 weeks, they went to a lawyer's office and said, hey, what do we need to do to make sure that we're covering all our bases, that we can enroll her in school, take her to the doctor, that the dad won't pop up at some point and say, I want her. What do we need to do? Well, the lawyer said, let's go ahead and file a case in court, in juvenile court, and ask for custody of the child. It's called the dependent neglect case. So that's what they did. But in doing so, they had to put the father on notice of that case. He had to be given notice. In other words, he had to be told and presented with the papers that they had filed in court. And when he was, guess what? He popped up and said, hey, I want custody of my daughter, even though he hadn't seen her in 6 years. The grandparents were devastated. The lawyer told him, hey, there's not going to be much we can do. If he wants custody, he's probably going to get custody. You know, parents have a superior parental right to their children. If one parent dies, then the other parent automatically gets custody of that child unless it can be proven in court that that parent poses a substantial risk of harm to that child. In this case, they couldn't do that. And even though dad had not seen that child in 6 years, he could get custody of that child because of the doctrine of superior parental rights. What do you think about that in this case? Do you think the grandparents should have gotten custody, or do you think it's okay that the father comes up after 6 years and can get custody of the child?
This situation is deeply emotional, especially with the child's future at stake. While the father might have legal rights, let's not overlook the grandparents. If they've been a constant, loving presence, they deserve to stay involved. The focus should be on what's truly best for the child, ensuring they grow up in a stable, loving environment where the grandparents' care and support continue to play a vital role.